yes, this is Mr. Informal. This is podcast episode number 3. It is March 21, 2015. It is also 11:16 p.m. Yes, I am recording this late night on a Saturday night. I hope you are all enjoying your weekend, especially on a Saturday night. Hopefully, you're not doing the same thing as I am, not doing anything on a Saturday night except doing a podcast. I'm doing this just for you, just so you can be entertained, learn something, and hopefully you get something out of it. It's a Saturday night. Hopefully you're doing better than I am. But let's get right to it. Since it is a podcast, it is Mr. Informal. Let me start off with the hottest topic right now. That is USB Type C or USB 3.1. It has made its way to the Nokia N1. It also made its way to the new Apple laptop. I think it could be the Apple MacBook Air, or it could just be called Apple MacBook. I think it's called Apple MacBook. I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong model here, but it's starting with Apple MacBook. Only one connection of the USB Type C, or I think it could be two, but whichever one. There's not a lot of connections in the new MacBook for Apple. But in any case, the technicality of the USB 3.1 is faster transfer rate than USB 3.0. It is now can transfer 10 gigabit per second, and it can also power up electronic devices up to 100 watts. And it's smaller. It's much more micro. Not as small as micro USB, but it's definitely it's definitely smaller, and it's reversible. Whichever way you put it, upside down, turn side up, in any which way, it could actually go in, which is finally, you're not having to struggle through which way you're supposed to put it or which side you're supposed to put it. But in terms of the practical standpoint of this new connection, is obviously reversible, and we don't have to use other proprietor laptop charger. Hopefully in the future that every manufacturer can actually take advantage of USB Type C power input, because if it can transfer 100 watts of power, then that means there's no need for separate charger. You can actually charge your laptop, charge your cell phones, charge your other devices. Could be Bluetooth speakers, could be mouse, it could be used multiple devices, and that's absolutely great. It's great for the consumer, and it's finally great for the environment. That way we're only using one type of connection. Another advantage of it is obviously a transfer rate. More files to move in and out of your smartphone, from smartphone to computer. So that's great, when you want to back up your devices, or you want to upload your devices and make videos out of it, or make some memories out of it. So that's another plus. And finally, hopefully it's much more durable, and it's obviously smaller than the USB 3.0, but at the same time, I think it's going to be beneficial as a consumer, because you're only going to be buying one type of connection, and you can also use the same cord to power up your devices or charge all your devices, and use it as a data cable from in and out of your smartphone to your computer. So that, everything about this new connection is great. It is absolutely great, and as right now, the price of it is expensive, but as more and more brands and companies integrate it and use it and people will buy it, the price should go down. And for this type of new connection is great. It's absolutely great for the consumer, and I commend Apple to jumpstart it. Obviously, they didn't start it. I think it was the first. No, it was Nokia N1 who started it. But as you know, Apple has a lot of followers, and Apple gets a lot of exposure. So kudos to them to jumpstart the connection. And since we were talking about bad power and USB 3.1, and also charging up your devices, batteries. I've noticed that every time I see in the news or in the blog or tech sites, there's always innovation in batteries, but they never seem to implement it in a way where there's a noticeable differences. Seems like there hasn't been any innovations or even any revolutionary type of ways for batteries to last longer. Duracell, Energizer, Rayovac has been all there, but there hasn't been anything great, especially in smartphones. The battery in smartphones has not gotten to the point where a heavy user can use their devices the whole day without worrying about going up into 0% or having their phones turned off because the battery ran out. And I'm sure that companies out there are trying to get a quick fix by having a wireless charger or fast charging. But I think those are just temporary solutions. I think we need to, as a consumer or as a whole, find ways to actually implement new discoveries of ways how to make batteries longer, or even how can we make a bigger capacity battery without making it too big. If we can make processors smaller, why can't we make batteries smaller? I don't understand. I think here's the thing, whoever makes a small sized battery with a big capacity wins. If you take a look at the Motorola Droid Turbo, it has I think 3,500 milliamps to 4,000, one of those. But in the Note 4, only has 3,200 milliamps, and it's bigger actually. So I don't understand why companies don't want to put big capacity batteries onto their devices. It's not like it's gonna lessen their profit margins because their profit margin is already high. So and if Motorola can do it, why can't others can do it? It's the same way with HTC Boom Sound or the front facing speakers. I don't understand why they can do it but others are not willing to do it. It just doesn't make sense. Everyone knows if it's a speaker, it should be in front of you. It shouldn't be behind you. It shouldn't be on the side of you. It should just be facing in front of you. I truly hope that batteries in the future could be bigger capacity without sacrificing on the size. This is why I prefer removable battery compared to non-removable battery, because if I ran a battery, at least I can replace it. It won't be a problem. But for some reason, the whole tech industry hasn't made any changes, hasn't made any revolutionary upgrades or updates, or even any solution to the battery that we are having problems today. In today's modern society, where we are connected to the internet, to data, to towers, to Wi-Fi, battery will take a toll. It's not like it was 10 years ago where we weren't connected, but now every day we got to be connected to the internet. So why focus on the thinness of the device or even the size of the device when you should be focusing on the battery? If you're making a device that's wireless or that's portable, then battery should be a big consideration when it comes to designing that device. And if it's not, then That's pretty sad. That's pretty sad. Yeah, it is pretty sad. I don't know what to say. I think the whole tech industry, I mean, actually, no, the whole battery industry is not catching up to how fast the whole tech industry has been moving in terms of in the mobile side of things. But that wraps up the tech side of things. Now let's move on into fashion. As you know, I go by the name of Mr. Informal, residing in Los Angeles, California. This is the denim capital of the world, one of the fashion capitals of the world. And it's the lifestyle here is crazy. It's always sunny. You know what they say, it never rains in Southern California. But first and foremost, since California is getting hotter, let's talk about the basic essentials of clothing. As many of you have noticed, a lot of brands and companies have been focusing on basic essentials as regular t-shirts, underwear, sweatpants, jogging pants, however you want to call them, and just the casual stay-at-home look that people seem to gravitate or wants to gravitate into a simpler lifestyle. Whenever I go out, I always see myself as someone who wants to dress up or dress appropriately. I don't want to be wearing something basic. I think basic is only reserved for at home, maybe just staying home, doing some chores, or just doing something, in your house or in your apartment or wherever you live at. That's what I think of basic essentials. When I think of a t-shirt, it's just a t-shirt. You can go out with it. There's no doubt you can go out with it. You can use it as an undershirt, and for a dress shirt, or just you just want to wear something casual. And to me, when I see people just wearing casual, going to the mall, or it could just be going somewhere, I think they should at least wear something appropriate or something nice. I think it's also when you wear something nice, it makes you feel good. I'm not saying that basic essentials are nothing or they're not good. I just think that people should, instead of just wear something basic, at least try to show some effort to what you are wearing. As you know, H&M has been marketing basics. American Apparel is definitely basic. Zara, no, I mean Forever 21 is getting into it. The American Girl, that's always been basic. As you know, Hanes, Fruit of the Loom. A lot of companies are actually, stepping up their basic games. Changing in not terms of design, but changing the fabrication from could be from polyester to cotton, Pima cotton, Egyptian cotton, Arabian cotton, African cotton. How it really depends. As you know, there's always a fabric technology that's always been happening and innovating. But the basic essentials, the basics of things in fashion, to me, should always be reserved for at home. It should not be something when it comes to going out. If people want to do that, yeah, that's fine with me. But in terms of your pride, or maybe if you want to go out and just show some effort, it should, it's always nice to dress up. Not overly, but do you always want to go basic? Maybe. It's up to you. Mr. Informal will never force you to wear whatever you don't want to wear. But the whole industry should just stop marketing these basics. Basics will always be there. Basics is a classic. It's a staple. No need to market it. If people want to buy it, buy it. Oh, and I have another problem. As you know, I was talking about fabric innovations, stretch. Now, what I mean by stretch is not stretch in terms of stocking or underwear, bikinis, sweatpants, or performance wear. I'm okay. I'm okay with stretch being performance wear, but I'm not okay is adding spandex on dress shirts, on denim jeans, on khaki slacks, dress pants, on t-shirts, on jackets. There's no need for stretch. Me personally, I like to I like to wear something comfortable. I don't. When I wear something, here's the thing. I bought an Express, the 1MX. I'm sure you all know Express 1MX. It has 97% cotton and 3% spandex. When I wear it, it feels weird. When I twist my torso, I feel the stretch. And when I want to pull something using my arms, I feel the stretch. It's not a good feeling. I don't know what it is, but I just feel uncomfortable. Where I prefer cotton is the softness that you get from cotton. Sure, there's no stretch, but cotton, something about cotton just feels soft, just feels right. Especially when you wash it, it just gets softer and softer and softer. No other man-made fibers can do that. Now you can say, oh, by the way, I'm just drinking tea right now. But you can say that silk can match it, but silk is much more expensive. And when I was going to Macy's buying Levi's, as you know, they're adding these stretch, and I absolutely hate it. I really do not understand why the whole industry is going to put cotton on jeans. I really don't think jeans need to have spandex. I absolutely do not think so. Now I'm sure women can attest to this, or many of you can say, adding spandex to it is a great idea because there are women out there who have different shapes and sizes, and I would tend to agree on that. I would absolutely agree on that. I think spandex is good for women because of the different shape and sizes. But for men, I don't think spandex needs to be there when it comes to pants or bottom wear. Bottom wear, what I mean is pants, jeans, slacks, khakis, so on and so on. There's no need to add spandex, and I absolutely hate it. And most of the jeans that Levi's are selling now are with spandex, and I hate it. And I like Levi's, but it's a travesty that Levi's is going to this trend. Come on, Levi's. You started as 100% cotton company, and now you want to basically integrate spandex through your whole line, which you shouldn't even have to. And I'm sure Levi's not the only one. I know it for a fact. They're not the only one. But it's a shame that the whole industry is getting to this spandex stretch material with jeans and even with jackets that it's unnecessary. And speaking of jeans, it's getting really hard to find jeans that is in your size, that's comfortable, that just the right length, that's the right waist measurements. Since we're on the topic of Levi's, I noticed that I'm 31, 32. So when I buy Levi's, I usually check out 32. So, if it's loose, okay, I go 31. So you should it's common sense to think, okay, 31 should be right. But no. When I wear 31 on the Levi's, it still feels loose. It feels like a 32. So I had to go down 30. And that's when it feels right. That to me does not make sense. And then here's another thing. the length or the inseam measurements. I know 30. I'm a 30. Well, actually, no. Specifically, I'm a 29 if I'm wearing shoes, but going down to my feet, I would be a 30. But I prefer 29 because, when I wear shoes, I like to go straight, no wrinkling on the bottom. And it's hard to find a 29 inseam. Absolutely hard. Why is it so hard to find? Even a 28 inseam. I look, don't get me wrong. I think, as humans, there's different shapes and sizes and different heights. But it's a travesty that Levi's or other companies are not offering 29, 28 to 29. And don't even tell me about that. Oh, you can get it altered. Come on. If you know how much it costs to alter jeans to a dry cleaning company or even a seamstress, it can get expensive. It can get expensive. And also, I've noticed that a lot of companies throughout the line has different consistency. So this is what I'm saying by not having to find the right size, because even if it's the same model but different washes, the size can actually change. If one model has raw denim, let's say 32, and it fits well to you, but then we go to the same model but it has washes and you get a 32, but it's too tight on the waist measurement, that's inconsistency. There has to be a consistent way of knowing if the whole denim line or pants line is the same size, because as you know, the technology and the internet is getting bigger and bigger and more people are shopping online. Let's have it sink it in for a moment. If you buy jeans online, you should expect consistency, right? Right, it makes sense. So why is it so hard to find jeans in the right size that should be the same throughout the whole range of collection or lines? Why? I know for a fact that there's multiple reasons. It could be there's a different wash, it's a different fit, it could be a different fabric, it could be a different construction. But if that's the case, then it should be up to the company to know that all measurements are the same by having a quality control, checking on the specifications in every product line. That way the customer doesn't get confused. And this is where men's is running into the same problem as women's. They're having to try on multiple pair of jeans just to get the right size. One size of jeans can be a 32 and then the other one could be a 30 and a 31, and they all fit the same. It just has a different size measurements. And then that's an absolutely problem that a lot of people are having. It wasn't used to be back in the old days where if you know your size, okay, that's the only size you should wear. Even if it's a different wash, even if it's a different fit, if it's a 32, it's a 32 throughout the whole range. But I guess jeans or pants are just getting too complex nowadays because everyone has their own fit. They like it skinny, they like it loose, they like it fitted, they like it extra fitted. It goes on and on and on. And somehow, some way, people or brands actually are listening to those customers. That's why they have a lot of range. But waist measurement should never change. I can understand the fit in the inseams or the length of the inseams, but waist measurements will never change. It's the same thing with when a kid grows up, his waist measurement doesn't change. His height changes, but his waist measurement doesn't change until he hits a certain age. Could be 2 to 3 years old down the road. But here's a good example. But when you become an adult, we all know that when you get fatter, your size waist changes. It grows. but the length of your legs or the inseams does not change. It stays the same. It stays constant. There are variables that goes by, but knowing those variables should make it easier for brands and companies to be consistently producing their jeans at the same fit and throughout the whole size range. But we'll see how the whole industry changes. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna change. But that's it for today, y'all. It's that's the end of the podcast number 3. I started out early 11 p.m. and now it's 11:51 on a Saturday night, March 21. I hope you all enjoy or was entertained by my opinions or informative rants, I guess. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Mr. Informal.